Yes, guys, welcome back to episode 28 of the Blue Balls podcast. We made it through against Newcastle. I still don't know how we were able to pull ourselves out of that mess because it looked like we were going out for 9/10 of that game. But we're here. We've got back-to-back home wins for the first time in God knows how long. And it feels a little bit optimistic. Just in a case of like, you know what, we're finally winning games. That's something good to take. And if we're going to talk about the performances, which I'm sure we will do, things might take a bit of a downturn. But we're going to talk all things Chelsea, talk about the latest transfer news and all the latest news surrounding the club as well. So big up to everybody that's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yeah, big up to everybody watching. Fata, what are you telling me, my bro? Hope you've had a good week.
We had a good week, man. Had a good week as always. It's a bit emotional after yesterday's game, but when you kind of rewatch it again on a replay, boy, it does feel like a worrying side. But yeah, we're gonna dive into it though,
Defo. Making his return. Big up to my guy Ben. Welcome back to the Blue Balls pod. Hope everything's been good.
Of course it has, bro. Of course it has. Like, it's actually good to come on here after a positive as opposed to negative and moaning about everything. It's actually good to be positive about things. And yeah, I'll be fair.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Although, can we just touch on something very quickly? The fact that you said you're feeling optimistic for once.
No, I mean very loosely. Like the
no.
I
mean, you said it.
I'm just glad we're winning.
Don't tone it down. Embrace it.
No,
Embrace it.
I'm glad we're winning. Like, just keep winning. That's all my mind.
So. You're a Chelsea fan, you mug.
That's all I want. But like, do I feel like we're gonna keep winning? I have to see it. I really have to see
obviously
it.
It's going to be.
But we have a good run coming up. That's the thing. We have a good run of games coming up that we can realistically build on. Just can we do it? We'll see. We'll see, because this has not been consistent at all this season, which is why I don't really have a lot to go off. I'm just glad that we've got 3 home wins on the bounce because our home record has looked hideous all year. I think now we actually seem to look like we're building it back into a little bit of a fortress. Even though, again, with the performances, very loosely saying that. But yeah, Alex, what were you telling me, my guy? You all good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Obviously, me and you, we were at the game together. Nina was there. Charlie was there as well. We had a good time. We had a really good time. And, the result made it better than anything. Nothing makes it better than a good result. Nothing gives you a better day out than a win. It doesn't matter how well you play, how good the game is. If you get the win, you've won, right? So I know everyone talks about performing well, and well, you're the one who talks about it more than anyone, Lewis. If you get the results, people are happy, and that is the reality of it. But also there's a bit of a contrast because I then say, well, hang on a second, we did absolutely nothing, but we still got the result. And you're praising the manager or the players just for getting the result when we didn't play anyway. Surely there's got to be a little bit more of a balance to it, because
that's where I'm trying to come through with it. Because I'm saying, yeah, we're winning. Like, I'm glad we're winning, but the performances aren't really raising any bars. It's just we gave Newcastle an early goal. They parked the bus. They were 2 minutes away from everyone running the narrative that it was an Eddie Howe masterclass, Jose Mourinho-esque at an away game. And then they make a big mistake. We equalize and we win on penalties. Sheffield United was a hideous first half. Absolutely hideous first half. But second half, things improved a little bit. I will give credit to Poch because he did tweak things and it did improve us as a result. So he deserves that credit too. But it still wasn't really an impressive performance for 45 or so minutes. And it's Sheffield United who are bottom of the table. So it's not a lot to take from as well. It's just from where we were in a very worrying position with those back-to-back defeats at Man United and Everton, and we looked absolutely hideous. Now we're on the back of 2 wins.
So let me ask you this. So you say this to me more than everyone, and I actually love this, is the fact that players, when they're first coming to Chelsea, deserve time. Why is it one way for a player and one way for a manager?
Because the manager's made consistent mistakes. Because the manager's made consistent mistakes week in and week out.
And the players don't.
The players are inexperienced for the most part. The defense and the midfield are more than good enough to be 12th place.
No,
I've
but
been
that's
saying
besides the
as
point.
well.
Lewis. That's besides. I'm just saying, generally speaking, you got a player who's
Because
just
the
coming.
manager is the experienced one. The manager is the one that you're meant to be building confidence of. And I've been given absolutely nothing to have confidence in him with. The defense, I can look at them on a player-by-player basis and say a lot of them are good enough. The midfield, we can all agree Enzo is good enough. Caicedo is good enough. Gallagher is good enough. Lavia, when he comes back, might be good enough as well. So why is there no performances? Why are we in 10th?
All right.
You've got to look at the tactics. You've got to look at the system. You've got to look at the decision-making. That comes down to the coach.
No, I'm not having this. Look, genuine question, Lewis. How long did it take you to give up on Potter?
So he joined in October.
It would have been Tottenham or Southampton, wouldn't it?
January.
Southampton
About
at home.
5 months. About 5 months.
Okay. So what's so different about Poch that makes you want him out earlier?
Because of the amount of mistakes that he's made from fucking... I've said it how many times, from Chukwuemeka to Mudryk, Colwell at left back throughout the season, Gallagher right wing or Gallagher in the pivot and Enzo in the 10. Two forwards at home against Luton and Wimbledon, 5 points in 5, the most winnable starts this season.
So what's different about
the whole midfield set up when we tried to build out the back, and there's so many different holes in the team?
No, mate.
The fact that the players haven't developed in 4 months.
No, bro, that Poch, bro, the difference between Poch and Potter, right? Obviously experience, obviously like quality of teams, man.
And two different teams.
Potter was giving up in the big games. Potter just he gave up too quickly. You know, City away, he was so happy with a 4-0 loss, he gave up. We're
arguing between two managers who hadn't proved anything.
Got this team playing though, like against the bigger teams. Like obviously, the problem that we've
got this team playing. Have you seen the last 2 games?
Okay,
this is why I'm saying I'm not jumping to conclusions off the results.
Okay, are Sheffield United a big team?
No. The bare minimum is to get a performance against them, and we're only good for 45 minutes.
We won.
They're the bottom of the table. You're meant to win. You take the W and you move on, but the performance was mid.
We moved on and then we beat Newcastle, Lewis.
Mate, I said,
why are you ignoring the fact that I'm acknowledging the fact that we got the results, but I'm saying the performances have not been good enough either, and I'm looking at the manager because of that. The whole play possession-based football in the first half.
He got us playing better in bigger games when the other manager gave up.
I'm going to play the balance card.
Losing all the top 6 games and beating a 9-man Spurs team after it took us 75 minutes out to figure out how to break them down.
All right. It weren't our fault Tottenham imploded. You know, Poch didn't say,
I'm not saying it was our fault. Thank God they imploded.
You know,
thank God.
Great. You know, we won
11v11, it would have been a different game.
Potentially. You know, I'm not here to disagree with that. But thing is, you know, last season, I mean, Tottenham away last season with Potter, what happened? He gave up. That was probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Chelsea team. I was sat next to Alex, and me and him are just talking what are we watching? What are we actually watching? We weren't watching Chelsea. We were just watching a Tottenham training session.
Look, it was bad.
I can't lie. It's meant to be developing young players, and the only player that has looked to have any sort of improvement is Conor Gallagher. If nobody else is improving, you have to look at the cook. You have to look at the chef, because clearly he's not doing his job well enough. That's why I'm looking at the manager. This defense should not be leaking the amount of goals.
Combination everything. I'll say it's combination everything. Let's cut to the chase here.
I'll agree with that.
Let's cut to the chase here. Yesterday itself, okay, you can say the positive win. That's fine. It's fun to win on penalties, but however, in this case, we cannot ignore that Pochettino continued the same kind of formation. That is the same problem that we've got last couple of games now. Sheffield United, take out Sheffield United or any relegation teams, for example, against Brighton. We should have beat Brighton big. We should have beat Brighton purely because they went to hellacious Europa League game against I forgot one of those teams in the.
I think it was Marseille.
Yeah. So again, these kind of games that we play one week at a time, that we should be taking these advantages. We lost points to Aston Villa Forest.
Well,
Bournemouth.
I'm not having that one. Villa are looking dangerous, bro. Like, this is a Villa that's
Villa did not look dangerous when they came
By the
to
way,
the
Villa
no. Villa went to Warsaw and they lost 3-2 and then beat us 1-0.
Yeah, but what team did they field against Warsaw to lose that?
It's almost the strongest team.
Was it?
Yeah.
See, what killed us against Villa was a bunch of errors for the first goal. Partly poor finishing, I will give that.
Partly,
but also it's partly because as soon as we went down to 10 men, this guy took Mudryk off, who was our most creative player at the time.
Yeah, that
and
one
then
was bad.
And then he brought on Chilwell, which helped absolutely nothing. And then he brought off our striker, and then he brought on a DM. And then when we went 1-0 down, he brought on Broja. So you just wasted an entire sub because you brought on another striker at the end of it because he wanted to protect the point again. Like he did against Bournemouth, like he did when it was 1-1 against Man United. He goes into his passive play and tries to overplay and protect everything. It's just pragmatic, slow, and it barely leads to anything.
Question. Alex, what is our actual system? Do we build a system around Nkunku or Gallagher? Which one?
Well, I think when Nkunku's fit,
we're trying to play at least through the back. I'd say a pressing system mainly centered around Conor Gallagher, but we play very slow football, which really doesn't help us. And that's the problem. I use the Sheffield United game as an example. When the ball's with the centre backs, nobody moves. Nobody moves at all. So the ball's just played slowly. There's barely any progression. It's very easy for the defense to maintain their shape because the ball's being moved slowly because nobody is making themselves available. Or we push Gallagher and Enzo too further forward and it's just Caicedo left on his ones in the middle.
All right. In that case, then, like, I don't really want to bring this up as a major talking point, but it's the only thing we can bring up, only because it's the only time we've seen him. But pre-season, like when we were actually looking all right, who was the person that was pretty much the key role to every attack?
Jackson and Maatsen.
And Chukwuemeka.
Not in Nkunku, no?
No, Chukwuemeka in parts as well.
And Nkunku as well.
Nkunku at points. I think he played his best on the left in pre-season. He got a couple goals, but it was mainly Maatsen and Jackson in the attack.
Yeah, but Nkunku was the one feeding through Jackson. Nkunku was the one linking up with Jackson. Like, them two look.
Well, some bits of him to play, but like Maatsen and Jackson were top two.
I think it's very, very harsh to say one player did everything. We had a lot of players.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he was key. I'm not saying he's the only one. I'm just saying he was key to it.
Yeah, fair enough. But like that looks like a completely different Chelsea team to what we're seeing now. Well, at the very, let's hope it makes some changes. I mean, he came on. I guess we equalised and won the game. Let's see what he's like after a few starts.
But you know what, Lewis? It is a really interesting conversation. I didn't expect the podcast to go this way, to be fair. I thought it would be a little bit more jolly. But you know what? Let's fucking get into it, mate. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. And you know what? It's great to have good debates as long as they're a little bit constructive. And I think actually so far it's been quite good. But it's interesting you talk about players Pochettino has improved. And you said just Gallagher. I think that's quite harsh. Again, because you look at the players that were in our squad last season, you can't compare them because half of them aren't here. And half of the players have come in realistically from a statistic.
I'll add Sterling.
Okay, Sterling's an improvement. Would you say Mudryk has improved?
Not really. I think Mudryk's the same player walked in.
Mudryk is definitely.
No, he's been a moment.
I would say.
Wait. Mudryk has been a moments player. That's the sort of guy that he is. He's going to. Let me land. He's going to try and make something. He's the sort of player that's going to make something out of nothing. He's going to try beat two players or try and do some craziness. That's the same player that walked in, but he's just not really had a lot of game time in the minutes to prove himself. I still haven't seen that consistency from him yet to even say that he's.
The reason you didn't.
There's been good games here and there.
No, but when he's played well. That's that. There's no.
The only thing that I think we've done is that even though he's not had a lot of minutes, he's had a lot more opportunities than he's had last season. I'll say that. Because last season, we were bringing him off the bench in losing situations, for like 10, 15 minutes to absolutely nothing and he'd get slandered. At least now I'm seeing him get starts. I'm seeing him get a few more minutes. But would I say he's improved? Like, no. Or if you think he has, you think he has, it's been a minor improvement, but like
there's
nothing.
Been an improvement. You agree with me?
I don't think so. Like, I'm trying to meet you in the
middle.
I'm trying to meet you in the middle and say maybe a little bit, but like, I still think he's the same player that walked in.
So the answer,
no, I think he's, in my real opinion, is I think he's the same player that walked in. I don't think there's been that much.
Disagree completely. I will say this. I think that his game, the knowledge he's have as a player in terms of reading the game, I think Modric is still poor. But one thing that he has got from Pochettino that he never had under Lampard or Potter or any of those players is confidence, and that's just playing week in, week out. And I don't know.
He's always struck me as one of those players who just like has his own level of confidence because he's always going to try things. He's always going to. You need to be a confident player to come off,
Lewis. That means they
no. That's technique. That's technique. That's not confidence.
Of course, it's confidence.
It's technique.
Lewis, if I
you improve your technique to be able to get it to come off
the podcast, you know,
if you weren't confident, you wouldn't even try it. To have the technique would allow you to be able to do it. That's the difference. You're telling
me he's developed technically under Pochettino because now it's coming off.
No, because I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing him try things out all the time,
and it works. And it works now.
In what sense? Are we going to Arsenal goal? The Arsenal goal?
Yes. What do you mean? Yes.
The cross shots. Okay. It's moments.
You said give me results.
It's moments.
Giving you results.
Oh, okay. What? 1 or 2 goals? If we're gonna say that's improvement, the bar is in fucking hell, brother. The bar is in hell.
I'm not saying the guy's messy. I'm just saying he's.
And I'm not saying the guy's improved that much for me to brag about it.
I think that's very harsh, man. I think that's very harsh.
Well,
by the way, the £100 million price tag, we're still overpaid. He's not worth 100 million.
62 million.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying
add-ons.
A number.
62 million with add-ons, but we haven't reached any of those add-ons. So 62 mil.
62? What, pounds?
Yeah, 62 mil.
62
quid was like 80.
Everyone puts up to 100 million because they add the add-ons and they try to inflate the whole thing. It's 62 mil.
See, I thought it was like 80/88 mil for him.
That's what
with the add-ons. With the add-ons.
Yeah, no,
62 million base.
Not 100 mil. Like
once we start winning the league in the Champions League, then maybe we can think about them add-ons. Until then,
sorry. Nah, can we not talk about winning the league? Because we that ain't happening this season. Come on.
Nah, yeah.
No, let's just get that out before people start saying, "Oh, they think they're going to win the league." Oh, here we go.
But yeah, it's to me, it's Sterling and Gallagher, and I haven't seen anyone else improve.
I think that's so harsh, Lewis.
By
the way, don't get me wrong.
Fata, who have you seen improve?
I say Gusto. I thought Gusto for me.
I think he's always been good.
It's the same player that walked in.
On my life, yeah. I thought Gusto for me was the signing of the season before.
Did you watch Leon last season? Be real and honest, my friend.
I know, but I can't lie. Like I watched Gusto, he's 10 times better than Reece James at times. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, Fats, you know what? We're gonna ignore that. Next, who else?
He's staying fit. That is one thing.
On my life, if he was fit right now, yes.
Who else do you think has improved?
I said Petrovic now improved.
On
my life. This is right. This is going to be controversial, yeah. Bruv,
you know he was a penalty specialist before he joined us, right?
Petrovic is 10 times better than Sanchez. I'm sorry, man. Like I've seen Sanchez this season. I've had enough.
I'm getting a headache.
Sanchez.
I'm actually getting a headache.
No, I've had enough of Sanchez. Like I've seen some dodgy moments from him. No. Petrovic for me. Right now,
he has had 2 games. He's probably barely made a save, and because of penalty. This is why I don't get gassed over results. This is why I gauge things on the performance. Again, who else has improved? Who else has improved?
I would say Fernandez is doing a lot more. I wouldn't say improved, but I'd say he's been more busier. I'd say. We put
Enzo out of position half the time and move him further forward for Gallagher. So I wouldn't even say that.
No, I'd just say he's doing more. Like.
He's doing, which is the problem. Yeah. We have him doing shuttle runs and pressing and getting involved in duels. Like, no, he needs to be controlling the play and just passing around. We have him doing fucking shuttle runs. It's ridiculous. But anyone else? Anyone else you think has improved?
No, I don't think Fernandes has improved. I actually think Fernandes
I
is
think
worse
Fernandes
this
underwhelming this
season
season.
than
I
he
can't
was
lie.
last season.
Yeah, he's been underwhelming.
I'll say that. But
I put
generally,
that down
not
to the
his fault.
manager because of the way that he's using him, but fair enough.
100%,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Lewis. But I'm not
But
saying
again, that's another thing
everything-
what I'm on the manager for. But again,
Yeah,
who else has improved?
But I'm not saying everyone has improved, right? That's
So
not
we
my
haven't got
point.
anybody else.
Well, hang on a second. No, hang on a second. We're having a conversation here. But generally speaking, the team is
wanna know who
better.
else.
So let me ask you this, Lewis. Are you
Right.
more proud to be a Chelsea fan this season than last season? Do
Yes,
you feel more pride with your team?
because I despised last season's Chelsea team with every fiber of my being.
So you
And
agree
we
with
can't
me?
get any worse than that.
So
Like,
we're
that
better.
was the furthest thing away from Chelsea I'd ever seen. It was just a bunch of mercenaries who didn't want to be here. I believe in the players that we have. What I question is the coach. And if he's the right guy for all these players, because again, our defense is good enough, our attack is good enough. I mean, our midfield's good enough. Our attack has improved on last season. It's better than last season's. So we should be doing a bit better in that aspect too. But here we are in 10th, midway through the season, because of a bunch of silly decisions in games, protecting the points against Bournemouth, against Villa, against Man United, Chilwell left wing, Colwell left back, Disasi right back, our constant struggles against low blocks. But the Enzo in the 10 and Gallagher in the pivot constantly is just so frustrating because we spent 215 million on that pivot to not even put them together. Like, what is the point? Shoehorning Thiago Silva into literally every single team. When if we're trying to do this whole process thing, realistically, we should be trying to build understanding between two other centre backs as well and trying to build that. But I haven't seen anything like that. We talk about lacking aggression and height as an excuse when we have the most fouls in the Premier League and the most yellow cards. Well, what are we talking? He himself has 3 yellow cards. And he's
I don't know about yellow card. Like I would say, like yellow card wise, that is referee standard. That is just how shit referees have been this season. Like how many yellow cards have we got
in the league, brother?
I disagree. It's all comes under discipline as well.
How many yellow cards have we had this season where we've all stood around and gone?
We've got 53rd bookings, by the way. Number 1, 53rd bookings.
We have the most bookings. We get into scraps and
all of them were
fights
unfair.
in nearly every game. We're an emotional team.
It doesn't matter. We can argue about the referee all the time, but it doesn't matter. They're just as bad as they are. It doesn't matter. We just got to control ourselves.
We concede on average 13 fouls a game.
It's all about discipline.
You know what, Father? It's true what you say, though. Like, we do need to level out. There is a standard, and it's like, listen, boys, calm down a little bit. You know, we want you to be aggressive, but fucking hell. You're saying 13 fouls a game. I wonder how many cards we get given a game. I wonder what that averages out to. Like, when you see some of the fouls, there are some where you think, really, is the referee going to give that? Is that generally a red card? But these days, the referees have no emotion. And I saw something the other day about, one of the ex-referees on TalkSport. He was saying, referees back in the day, they used to talk about common sense. And if it wasn't in the rule book, it was to do with common sense. And you knew you were breaking the laws of the game, but common sense would prevail because you know that in a situation, this is understandable. And these days, referees are not allowed to use. So they're actually criticized for using common sense. I'm not saying from the fan base, but they can actually jeopardize their roles as referees by not following the rules because they're expected to follow the rule book to the T. So if they're not going to be given a yellow card when it's a handball, even if they know it wasn't intentional, it should never be a penalty. They're still given those cards.
Everyone has these problems with referees, though. That's why I can't say it's just a Chelsea problem. Same referees are refereeing all over the Premier League. The problem is, like, we don't have a lot of discipline.
No, I completely agree with that.
That discipline's just completely faded. Be it lack of experience, be it something that comes from the manager, be it a combination of both. It's just another thing that we have as a problem, and that's something that other teams can use against us. They can just try and rile us up, and they know that we'll bite every single time. Feels literally like the Battle of the Bridge, but we're the reverse team. We're the Tottenham this time.
But
we're the ones.
You have to admit, Lewis, it is quite depressing how far it's gone. It's not a contact sport anymore. It is really depressing to see. You touch a player like this, you will get a yellow card, and it's not even surprising anymore. And for me, that's quite depressing.
Yeah, I hear that, because when you play Sunday League, it's different.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, part of the Premier League, like things that we all found entertaining was those great crunch tackles. Like, obviously, like if a player gets seriously hurt from it, then it's not as good. But like, when like, for example, like, I can't remember who it was. Like there was like when a player just absolutely slides someone out from beneath them, but has got the ball, and it was a great challenge. You do that these days, you're at risk of getting a red card because potentially your stud is showing.
Even if you're winning the ball.
Literally.
How the fuck does that work?
Yeah, the game's got softer and softer.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But then again, you're like, I think players are so.
But you do have to learn to adjust to it. You have to learn to adjust to it.
Absolutely.
The players are so overprotected by the rule books these days. Like, if we went back to a simpler time, like I said on the fan cam with you, Alex, like, Chelsea being physical pretty much is like the Chelsea identity. Did John Terry take any crap when he was a defender? No. Did John Obi Mikel, Essien, Lampard, did they take any crap? No. Like, all right, maybe we need to tone down on the fouls, but what Chelsea need to do is, the famous saying, you don't fix what isn't broken. And we were talking about like signings, Timo Werner, pacey, skinny striker, did he work? No. Morata, no comments there. The thing that worked for us was the bully type strikers, these guys who would come into the game with their heads screwed on, winding up defenders, forcing mistakes. It was those physical bullies that made people think, you know what, I don't want to deal with this team. Like that it's intense. And it was that intensity and that physicality that we had, and the ability, to having an actual striker who can finish. I'm taking nothing away from Jackson. As much as he's been this season, he also has, stepped up at times.
I think he's the 8th highest goal scorer in the league.
And that's why
That's
I've got to be very careful with what I say, because Jackson has taken chances. It reminds me, two different players, but it reminds me very similar to Tammy Abraham. Like, this is a striker, and let me land this, all right, before everyone goes crazy. Tammy was one of those strikers where he was given chances, but he wouldn't give up. If he missed the first 3 shots, that 4th one might go in. He'll still take that chance. And that's why he got a fair few goals for us, in his first season promoted, because he just wouldn't stop shooting. He would take the chances. All right, fair enough. If you gave that many chances to a Haaland, to an Mbappe, to a Lewandowski, we'd be winning games like 20-0 or something. Obviously exaggeration, but what I like is, someone that isn't afraid to be there when you need to be there. All right, misses are depressing, but when he's actually there and, getting it in the net, if this guy bulks up and becomes a bully, I can see him being a quality guy for Chelsea. But
that's the thing. Players like Jackson, I see the fundamentals in him. That's why it's like, I believe that you can be coached and you can develop and you can improve and become a lot better than even what you're showing now. And now for someone in his first season, 7 goals, 13 Premier League games, it's not a bad tally. Could do a lot. Well, he's already equaled Havertz's tally from last season. He's on track to level Tammy Abraham. And Tammy Abraham's the highest goal scorer this decade.
What is
he's on track to level that. One run of form away, he'll beat him.
What is our actual target for him? Like, can he get like around 15, maybe 16 or 20?
Yeah, 15's the target. And he can hit 50.
Any main striker, if you're a main striker for Chelsea, I'd expect no less than 20.
And if he gets 15, then I'm fine with his first season. I'm fine with it because you've given me the numbers. That's cool. Like, I think we could still do with an experienced striker as well. Whatever happens with the Osimhen or Tony thing, we'll see. But yeah, Jackson's been doing fine. I think a lot of these players who are young and inexperienced, if we want to use that word, like I think we have a decent squad. It's just, again, my biggest problem is the coaching. And hopefully it improves, or hopefully the results improve. One or the other, I will take.
Big question is, what is he going to do once Jackson go to AFCON?
Well, we've got 2 league games. No, but he might potentially be missing 4 games, depending on how Senegal do. Probably, bro, yeah. So, I mean, whatever, man. We'll see how you play.
Or to be fair,
maybe Nkunku. Maybe play 2 up top. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer Nkunku as a backup shadow striker. Sitting behind the main guy. I think that's where he sits perfect. That and obviously being on the left, but obviously we've got to adapt to these sort of things. But I mean, Broa, if he
I ain't keen on Broja.
If he's going to start, he needs to fix up, because I still, to this day, am questioning how he missed from that close against Sheffield.
I'm not even thinking about him. He just hasn't impressed me in any single game I've seen from him. Like, against Burnley. No, he wasn't good again. His goal was a tackle that bounced off his ankle and went into the net. Like, we'll just take it and move. He wasn't good, though. Like, it is what it is. The last game as well, Sheffield United obviously weren't great, had the miss and everything. He looked visibly frustrated at full time. I know he's just come off his ACL and everything, so I'm not really onto him too much. But he hasn't done anything to wow me. He's just there. So if he's my number 9 option, I'm not really keen on it, but prove me wrong.
How much would you take for him if an offer came in January?
40.
Hell, I'd try and involve him in the Osimhen deal. Apparently, Napoli were keen on him. I'd either send Broja or I'd send Lukaku. Or apparently Lukaku wants to go join Saudi now, which is like, now you want to join Saudi instead of wasting our time all summer, you piece of shit. But whatever. At least we'll sort that problem out in the summer.
Sorry, but when it comes to Lukaku,
I hate him, man. He's wasted a loan spot, the dickhead.
Honestly,
just for what? A Europa League? You're not winning Serie A with Roma. Big up Jose, but you're not doing it.
Yeah, big up Jose. I mean, I'm surprised Jose wanted him. Like, you know, the attitude, like, Jose is one of those. Like,
he's a bagsman in Serie A. You get him motivated, and Jose can do that. He'll die for you.
Yeah,
that's the right partnership.
To be fair, they got the relationship from United as well, so.
Yeah, that is definitely the right partnership. Like,
Tammy Abraham's not been playing well. I mean, I saw a clip the other day. I don't know if this is recent or not. You guys can tell me. I saw a clip of Abraham saying, "I'm shit."
That was actually from 2 years ago. But yeah,
was that from a few years ago?
He's recovering from an ACL himself, but last season he was arse. His first season was brilliant. The second season was crap. There's been rumblings about some Tammy Lukaku swap deal. Get in the bin immediately. We don't need that. No. Literally don't need that. Big up to Tammy, but stay in Italy and enjoy your time there. We don't. No, we're all good. But yeah, moving on to some other transfer news. Well, this one's going to start another argument, but the Conor Gallagher situation, or well, what has changed? What has changed in the Conor Gallagher situation? Because Fabrizio reported it would take an important proposal, but if it's something more than 35 million, then Chelsea could be open to discussing it. It's not something they 100% approve. They're not at the stage yet where they've decided to sell Conor Gallagher. So the thing is, like, we're realistically moaning about nothing. There's a price tag on Gallagher's head, which, I mean, fair enough. There's a price on everybody's head. If you get around 40, 45 million for him, you'll probably get him, maybe a bit higher. He hasn't re-signed a contract. There's rumblings that he doesn't want to sign an 8-year contract, which, again, if that's the case, and I understand why we want to get rid of him too. But I've been very clear about this. If Gallagher leaves, I don't really care. If he stays, cool. He's a decent squad player. I don't mind him being around the team. I do think he's improved this season, but he's also not really, like, wowed me. It's like, all right, cool. You've shown me a bit more technical ability. You've showed up in a few big games, but yeah, 18 months left in his contract. I'm not too fussed if we sell him. Is what it is. You never see a starting 11 of youth players win anything.
He's not a Chelsea standard. I'm sorry. He's not a Chelsea standard. No.
Well, I was trying to beat around the bush, but fair enough. Fatty.
He's not a Chelsea standard. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
Where is this hate for Gallagher, man?
No, it's not even hate. It's not even hate. He's shining star, man. He's not Chelsea standard. He's not. He's a Palace standard at least. No. Yes, what we do. One of the most stable players this season. Yes. But where we are right now, we're 10th. We're 10th in the league.
And that's all on Gallagher, yeah?
No, I'm not saying that. He's partly blamed for some of the games.
Like, look,
without Gallagher, where do you think we would be this season?
On my life, yeah, I would say this on my life. Like, if you want to upgrade, there is. Like, you can find in the market. There is. Yeah, I could give you some names. Like, I can give you some names like Paqueta. Paqueta is already on a high target by Man City. If we steal Paqueta from Man City, and then we sell it,
isn't he about to get banned?
Nah.
The whole betting thing.
He is. Yeah. There's massive.
I don't. Nah.
Yeah,
Where's
no,
the
he's
news?
about to get banned, brother.
No, what's the news on
you know
that? It's
what?
been quiet.
Let's sign a banned player for Gallagher. You know,
What's the
why
news
don't
on
we
We're
that?
trying to get one guy off a betting
know
ban.
what?
We don't need
You
the
know
pair
what?
of
Let's
them.
go
Bro,
banned
bro,
11.
like,
Only up
my-
front.
You know how many
this-
eyes are
my
already on
point
the
is-
head?
Time, guys. One guy at a
There
time.
is a
Come on.
better upgrade. There is a better upgrade than Gallagher outside.
Oh yeah, I
outside-
agree with you on that. But like Paqueta's going to be banned for God knows how long. He ain't going to be the guy.
It's going to be a lengthy one too.
But yeah, on what you were saying, Alice, it depends on the player. But like, I don't know if we'd be any higher or lower. Like, I just don't think he's really impacted like that.
So, I mean, let's just say that Gallagher was not available and we still had the same injuries that we have now. Well, obviously, Nkunku's back now, but we wouldn't have had Nkunku at this point. So who are you playing? You know, and also, what are they giving you that Gallagher's not giving you? Because I agree with you with the technical aspect.
I would like to play Palmer in the attacking mid because I think he would give us a lot better decision making on the ball. Would give me a lot better goal threat. Much better at beating players. Decision making is a lot better. He's not going to pause half the time when he's in possession. I think the tackling would be a lot smarter. There won't be as many fouls potentially. Or maybe there won't be the defensive aspect. And we might lack that, but we'll be a lot better going forward as a result. So I would take the sacrifice.
Well, there's definitely an argument to say play Palmer, Sterling on the right, maybe Mudryk on the left and Jackson up front with Enzo and Caicedo playing together. I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, when I spoke to Jason Cundy after the Sheffield game, he said to me, he was saying, you know, we dropped Enzo for this game, and people can say whatever they want, but ultimately, it's the best thing to do because you want to get an extra attacking player on the pitch.
It turns out Enzo's had pubalgia over the last week or so. He might be out for an extended period of time, so it explains why. It's a groin issue, but like impacts you hitting the ball with the inside of your foot. Alex was telling me on my streams earlier. Big up, Alex. But yeah, it's some groin issue. It's the same thing Mount had towards the end of last season. It's happened with a few players, but it's a very worrying thing because like you don't really know when it's healed. Apparently, you can only just test it out, and if you test it out, you risk re-injuring it. So it's a very delicate situation with him. That's why I get why he didn't start the last two games. It is what it is. I understand.
Yeah, but with Enzo as well. I mean, we're not expecting him to, you know, score bangers. I mean, it shouldn't be a massive issue in terms of short passing and just controlling the midfield.
His passing's been the highest in our team by a mile. We're going to miss out. Even in the Sheffield United game without him, I think we're missing incisive passes from the midfield. Everything was just slow, lethargic. There was no, I think I saw one bit of quick build-up play in that entire first half, and that was it. Like we're definitely going to miss something with him. It's just only going to be like the control of the games and everything. We might have to try and figure out a way around that.
Yeah, I mean, but ultimately, I think it all just comes back to Pochettino. And this is where I do have a little bit more patience with him than other people. Is you've got all these fucking problems. You've got all these new players who have never played for Chelsea. You've got a couple, I mean, not even a handful that have experience playing for us. And you're trying to gel them all together. And then you've got injuries. You've got all these issues.
And I feel so bad for him playing players in wrong positions every week.
Lewis, I'm not saying that he's right all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that, to be honest,
I'd like him to not be
look
wrong
at a manager right now and say, you know what, bring him in, sack Poch. And for me, sacking Pochettino is the same as sacking Potter last season. You're just going back on your process. The whole point of a process is to give a manager time. Arsenal gave Arteta 2 years, and he was completely
they had a manager that was new on the job. That's why I hate the Arteta comparison. Poch isn't new on the job. He's been managing for a decade.
What about Klopp?
Yeah, he had inexperience at Southampton, and he managed to pull them up the table. He had inexperience at Spurs, managed to pull them up the table. Managed to get tunes out of inexperienced Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That tells you that the players they had were better than what we had in a lot of ways.
No, because he developed them. He coached them. He got more out of them, but at Chelsea, he's not doing it.
So does that tell? So what is? You've just proved my point. He literally did well at previous clubs, and he's struggling at Chelsea. That is the one-off, which means
I would understand that. I would understand that if what he was trying to do made sense. Like, I look at Tottenham, for an example. When they don't have the tools, when they're missing 4 or 5 key players, I still see them playing a cohesive style of play, making chances continuously and dominating games. That's getting the best out of your team. With Poch, I don't see us doing that. I see us holding on to possession for possession's sake. I see players being played out of position. I see a bunch of stupidness in the final third. Like, we don't play with any sort of structure in training at all. And then we concede off one stupid mistake, and then the game goes to the bin because everyone's heads are down because no one has a clue what to do. Everyone's in the wrong position.
You know what I realized as well from this fan base, Alex? Like, every time Gallagher has a bad game, you know who's the person getting scapegoat? Enzo Fernandez. That is what I
Enzo gets scapegoated a lot. I hear that, but I think it's more from rival fans than our own fans. Rival fans love to do that.
I can't lie. Most of our own fans really scapegoating Enzo a lot.
But if they're expecting GNA from a guy who's meant to be a deep line playmaker being played in the 10, that's his own problem. I don't see Tony Kroos getting played in the 10 every week, and he's a brilliant passer. But there's a reason for it.
Yeah, we complain about a lot of the things that
again, who's playing him in that position?
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying every decision is correct, but you look at Cole at left back. Then you've got Cucurella. I think Cucurella is another player that's improved under Pochettino. Actually, he was shite last year.
I think Cucurella just needed a lot more game patience from this fan base in general, and everyone's so quick
he was
to
playing in the wrong position last season. He was playing in the wrong position multiple times, and then Poch played him in a back four as a normal left back.
I'd argue last season Cucurella played better as a left centre back.
No. Yeah, Cucurella had good games for us. It was just there was some bad games and everyone jumped on his back, which was so confusing when Chilwell stunk the pitch up every week and everyone was protecting him. That's what annoyed me about it. But I don't really think he's I say he's improved. He's been given more time.
Well, you do realize Chilwell was putting as a left wing at a couple of times this season early in the beginning.
His best attributes are meant to be going forward as well. Like that's a little bit of both. Chilwell's just fell off. Fell off.
I don't know what's happened to Chilwell, but again, we can't really judge him because he's been played out of position as well. So this is where you're right, but at the same time, there's obviously a reason Pochettino's doing this. And you look at the preparation we went into the season, different squad, mate, different squad.
That reason didn't work out. We got 5 points in our first 5 games with the easiest start to the season in the league.
But that literally goes with my point. It's a different squad, And Chukwuemeka got injured and Kunku got injured. Chilwell was being played.
That means play Chilwell at left wing instead of Mudryk, an actual left winger.
No,
Sterling, you play him on the left and put Noni on the right. That'll be all right.
We can say these things. We can say all of these things, but we don't know what.
I'm just trying to put players in their natural positions.
But no, I mean, generally speaking, for me, if we would have lost the Newcastle game, it would have been very hard for me to stand next to you after the fan cams and defend everything that I saw. Even though I think we were on top of that game, and I think that we were definitely better than Newcastle. It might not have been our best performance, but we were better than Newcastle. That's a fact.
I think it was 2 crackheads fighting in an alley.
But we were the better crackhead. If you want to put it like that, we were the better one.
We won just. I guess we pulled a bottle off the floor or something and won.
What is this analogy, bro?
but the reality is we managed to get the result irrespective of how we played, which then goes on to, okay, you don't like the way we play, but there is a mentality, because without the mentality, you would have never fought for that result. You would have never got that result. So that is more credit to Poch in the fact that he is building a team.
I give credit to Poch for finally putting fullbacks on the pitch, even though it took him about 75 minutes to put them both on.
Yeah,
and then the first thing he did was put Gusto left back.
No,
what?
Well, to be fair, look at our left back situation right now. No Cucurella, no Chilwell.
Ian Matson literally exists. Like, do the Harambal back 5 if you want to do it. But there is literally a left back there.
Harambal back 5. Oh
God. When we have Colwell and Disasi, we do nothing going forward, and our wings are just so inconsistent because they're not supporting the wingers in attack, and the wingers don't track back, so they're not supporting the fullbacks in defense. So, the very least you could have is overlapping fullbacks who understand how to attack. We were looking back at some of just the starts of our build-up play from the centre-backs on our last stream. Nobody goes near the fullbacks. They pack the middle. Do you want to know why? Why am I going to be worried about this Sassy or Colwell running down the wing? Oh, shiver me timbers. What are they going to do? You put fullbacks in there, suddenly we look a bit more dynamic. It's like you put players in their natural position and they produce results. It took us 80 minutes to get there with this idiot coach, but I guess we got there.
But I mean, if Reece
I think
James
that's
was
Now,
fit,
can you do that in more games?
I mean, if all of our fullbacks were fit, we would have fullbacks playing as fullbacks. I mean, let's not get it twisted. It comes back to injuries again.
Ian Matson's been here all season.
You know what the crazy thing is? We don't even need to use the fullbacks. You know, we don't even need like kind of overlapping fullbacks. We can also use the midfielders to link with the wingers in the half spaces. Like what the fullbacks job can do is that they can stay deep to prevent any counter-attack transition. For example, like if you
the
look
team's sitting back against us, you don't need that. Just have 3 players in the middle and you're fine. Like you're gonna need to pack players into the box if a team's sitting deep, especially
the thing is, like, why did Poch abandon that though?
Because we had to do whatever we could to get a goal. So we thought, finally, let me throw the fullbacks on. It's just he always does late subs.
But if he doesn't trust Maatsen, why would he play him? You know, and that comes back to it as well. Why would you play a player that you know isn't going to have a future with you as a coach? Which is, again, if that is the reason he's not playing Madueke or hasn't give him any game time, I know he had the incident when he went out and all of that. It's like, fair enough. You're a fucking coach.
Apparently, we're not even letting Madueke go on loan though, which is like, what? He don't play.
I don't know.
I saw it from The Athletic. Like, you don't even play. Like, what are we doing? Like, let him go on loan. What are we keeping him for? One game a week.
I would love us to see kind of like play a 3-2-5 formation when we did back in the preseason, though. I think that last 10 minutes for me, like I was like, okay, there's a bit of positive. Then you got Gusto on the right, and then
he's too pragmatic to do that in the Premier League. He's too pragmatic to do that right now. I don't see him doing that. We only even start playing like that because they were parking the bus. It was 10 minutes left. You throw everything up top and you try and get a result.
I can understand the debate with Maatsen because you could definitely say, oh well, Maatsen gets a lot of goal contributions and he's a decent player even though he's unproven at Chelsea. But with Gusto, I mean, he's just come back from an injury. I can understand why he didn't start that game. So yeah, I just don't think he trusts.
But he should have been on at half time.
He's made that clear publicly.
Been on way earlier.
He has made that very clear. He literally said performing at Chelsea and playing for Chelsea, with all due respect, is not the same as playing for Burnley. And that's the situation with Maatsen. And for me also, if we get
what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Performing the same for Chelsea? Does that mean it's too big? No, does it mean it's too big of a step up for him?
Well, he's saying that, let's do it like this. Let's say that there was a YouTube channel with 10,000 subscribers and a YouTube with 100,000 subscribers. If you're getting 1,000 views with a channel with 10,000 subscribers, it's very different to getting 10,000 views with 100,000 subscribers.
I get in terms of playing for Burnley and playing for Chelsea, but why is he saying that to reference Maatsen like he's incapable of being able to do that?
Well, he's saying that.
The whole point of the loan is that he comes back here and then he plays afterwards. That's meant to be. I don't get that. I don't get that.
No, it's obvious. I mean, that's the whole point. He's not trusting him. He doesn't think he's capable. That's why he's saying it. He's saying it in the most respectful way he can, but he doesn't trust him, just like he doesn't trust Madueke. And that's fair enough because you've got so much.
Well, we're probably not going to see him enough to figure that one out. But I'd like to at least have a game with us playing him at left back or wing back. I don't care what it is, and just see if we look a bit better going forward.
I mean, I do think it's a bit strange that we never played him as a left back. I agree with that. But
now we've got a game every 3 days coming up afterwards. He's got to get game time in that.
He's got to.
I like
that Preston game could be that Preston game as well.
Right? I need to see a league game. I want one game with where can we have Gusto and Maatsen on the wings and see what we can do.
Luton.
Maybe Luton or Palace at home
potentially because we looked so much better in the last 10 minutes of them two on the pitch. Why don't we try that out?
Yeah.
Why don't we try that out against Wolves and see if we look a little bit more cohesive going forward?
Yeah,
That's
Wolves away is always a
literally
difficult one.
like you said the last 10 minutes. That's literally what I was referring to that formation back in the preseason. That was like I wanted to see more on that against Wolves. It's literally the same kind of type of play like they did in the preseason.
Yeah, just something different. I don't know what we're going to do in the midfield. It'll probably be Gallagher back in the pivot, but I guess at least now we're being forced into it, so it's whatever. Yeah, Ugo Chokwu I don't think is fit. So yeah, we literally don't have a choice. Whatever, we just got to make the most out.
Enzo's going to be out, isn't it? He's going to be out for at least a couple of games now.
Yeah, probably a while. Probably for a while. We need to hope Leslie comes back soon because also he can add height into our midfield. Oh, that was another excuse. Even though we have the average height in midfield in the Premier League, but cool, whatever. What other news was there? Thiago Silva is apparently not going to be retained by the club as well. That was from David Ornstein. Do we feel like this is the year for Thiago Silva? Because there's been good performances, but there's also been a few more errors than usual this season. I do think we need to prioritize developing another set of 2 centre backs.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a heartbreaking one. We're always used to seeing a Thiago Silva who's been putting his body on the line, doing absolutely everything for Chelsea. But realistically, with Fofana coming back, Badiashile, Colwill, we've got so many up and coming centre backs that, and I mean, and Badiashile, he's looking so good right now. It's getting to the point.
He apparently wants another centre back.
Why?
No, there's been reports of that. We've been looking at Jonathan Tah. I think there's one more as well.
Todibo.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, Todibo. What? The Nice, the one from Nice, or
yeah, Todibo.
Oh, fair enough. I don't see why we need one, but to be fair, actually, I do actually, because Fofana is literally got Reece James syndrome at the moment, so I can see why.
Yeah, Reece.
We do need left back as well in the summer. We do need a major upgrade in the left back.
I agree with that. But if we get a left back, who obviously I think it's obvious Masson's going to go. Is Cucurella and Chilwell going to want to stay, knowing that they're going to be number 2 or number 3?
Well, we're going to have to.
One of them will go.
Well, composition's good in general. But I was excited when we first got Cucurella. Then just both of them did nothing that season. Chilwell, we need to see what he's like when he's back before we fully come to a final conclusion over whether he's actually gone over the hill or if he's got something to offer us. We'll see what he's like when he returns. If he comes back, if he comes back and he's a better player, like he was when he came back under Potter, might be a light at the end of the tunnel. If it's the same crap, cut our losses.
Theo Hernandez. Give me Theo Hernandez or Alfonso Davies.
Yeah, how much that
Give me
cost?
that.
He's not going to come to us, Father.
Give me that name.
Let's get into Europe. Let's get into Europe before we do the big game.
Let's get Conference League, then we can talk about it.
Win the Carabao Cup, Conference League, no problem.
What about Middlesbrough, boys? I know we got Middlesbrough in the draw. What's going on?
Easiest tie we could have had.
Relief. Normally, we've been stuck with some quite tough fixtures. Like Brighton, not an easy game. Obviously, don't get me wrong, Wimbledon
last year, Man City
been a
twice
blitz in the park, but it wasn't. Newcastle. It's actually such a relief to know that we've got the easiest draw in this cup.
Yeah, it should just be straightforward. I think it won't be a low block, I think, because we're going to be playing Michael Carrick, and he apparently plays really good football for Middlesbrough. So I think we'll have 2 good games, but with them not playing deep means they should open up gaps for us. We should be able to exploit. Might be a bit techie not having Nicholas Jackson because we're going to have Broja for the 2 legs, but we should have enough in us to see this game out. Yeah, realistically, I can get knocked out by Middlesbrough. I swear.
They're missing their 2 goal. Yeah, they're missing their 2 goalkeepers as well because of the AFCON and Asia.
Oh, okay, so it's 1-1. It's 1-1 base. Oh, it's 2-1.
Yeah, I mean
2 goalkeepers gone. Our best number 9.
Not to hide behind this, but Middlesbrough, are a bit of giant killers. They have shown historically that they are not scared to knock out some giants. But I'm not going to hide behind
knocked out in the past.
FA Cup, Spurs.
Yeah, we beat them 2-0 when we got
Oh
sanctioned.
yeah. Oh yeah, I
And
forgot
I think
about
they
that.
beat
Should've
another
went there.
league team
Yeah,
before that.
but I'm looking at their form in the Championship. They're not in a good form. Like they lost three
Champions
three
League, yeah.
the Championship. Sorry, they lost.
Cool.
About,
They're in Champions League. Who's on Foot Manager?
yeah, they're not in a good form at the moment. Like they should be.
Why are they in the table?
13.
Oh boy.
Oh,
How far are playoffs?
Well, really far, mate. It's about. Well, it's about. You got 36. They got 6 points off.
Oh,
6
not that
points.
far,
Okay, so they're close.
6
Is this
points
what the
off.
championship is like, man? 6 points separate sixth from like 20th. Can't take it seriously. All right, cool. So 6 points off playoffs. It's not that deep. They'll still be a little bit threatening. I expect us to cause them a couple of problems, but we should be able to handle it. And I swear, if Poch gets out-tacticked by Michael Carrick, P45 in the dressing room of the second leg, on my life. This is the easiest get out of jail free card you could ask for. The Carabao Cup. This is very, very straightforward. I want that medal on this wall. I will have it ready if we get to the final, and it's going up as soon as we win if it's there. But we better make that final. This is the easiest opportunity we have. The second leg is at home. The second leg is at home. We're facing the only championship team left in there. Win. Because you know what you're going to build? You're going to build a little bit more faith. You're going to build a little bit more of a positive vibe around the club. And a trophy does a lot for these players too. It does a lot for Poch. Can build some affinity with the fans and everything. A trophy would actually give him a bit more patience. But you got to get there. You got to get there. Fulham v Liverpool's obviously on the other leg. It'll probably be Liverpool. Let's hope Fulham do something, though, but I doubt it.
Mate, I would not write out Fulham. I would not write off Fulham.
Fulham look
in
great.
one leg, in one game, maybe. 2 legs, nah. They're gonna get.
Are they away first or are they home first?
I think they're at home first.
That'll be pivotal. The home game will be pivotal for them.
Just confirming. Yeah, they're away. They're away first leg.
I'd argue that's better.
Okay.
I'd argue that's better.
No, that is better.
I mean, shut them out for 90 minutes, maybe. They just gotta do some scumbaggery shit at that ground.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Liverpool were made to look a lot better than they were today. Like, West Ham.
Definitely. Moyes is a terrorist.
I don't know what West Ham are doing at the moment. Like,
you are in a quarter final of a cup competition. You rotate 5 players because you're facing Man United in 3 days. I know we got bopped off the park by United, like Poch tax and everything, but no, United are crap. You're really resting for that over a cup competition. Have some shame.
And not to mention that Fulham battered them 5-0 in the league.
Yeah, but I swear they had some like lasagna gate issue with that. There was some mad sickness bug apparently going around West Ham before that game. Because that looks like there was such an anomaly compared to all their results. They're unbeaten in 9, except for one 5-0 battering away at Fulham, of all clubs.
It happens.
These men usually don't even know how to shoot. But I say that they won another game 5-0. It's the start of the season. Was playing on my head. They couldn't score to save their lives. But it's an easy route to Wembley. Make the most of it. I really hope it's a West London derby at Wembley.
Mate, that'd be huge.
Yeah, huge. I'm looking forward to it as well.
There's going to be Chelsea.
We've already proven we can beat them. So
if it's Chelsea Fulham, well, I'm not going to say anything, but I'd be confident.
I'm sorry. I think I'm all finaled out for Chelsea Liverpool. Having gone through what we've gone through, having spat venom in Alex's eyes, basically.
You know what I love? I miss both of them. So if we win, I'm going to say I'm the good luck charm.
Were you on DR Sports?
Yeah, for both of them. I skipped both finals. What a swerve. What an unbelievable swerve.
No, it wasn't a swerve, Lewis. It was a great game. It was good to be there. Like, don't get me wrong.
We didn't win. We didn't win.
You don't want to be there to support your team regardless?
Yeah, I'll support my team regardless. Like, what, we think you have to be in the ground only to support them?
It's a nice thing to do.
It's a good
it's a nice day out. You know what's also nice? Sitting on a sofa with 3 drinks and getting paid 100 at the end of it. Just to watch a game of football.
I'm just going to say that.
That's nice.
No,
and I get my money back for the ticket.
Like, I think
I
you
used
No,
to
no,
say
I
that.
disagree if we won, but we didn't win.
Yeah, no,
We
but
didn't win
even
either.
then, like, don't get me wrong, it's heartbreaking to watch us lose in a final, but like, just at face value, there is nothing better than just to absorb the atmosphere. You know, pre-match at the pub, drinking
I
pints
agree.
with your friends.
But that's why I linked
thanking
you all before then.
doing other
I went to
stuff
the
that
pub,
I'm
I did all the
Pre-match.
pre-match
What
shit, and I
pub,
went to
man?
DR
Come
Sports straight after.
I'm
Straight
joking.
after.
But then going to Wembley, you know, walking down Wembley Way, looking at the arch, you know, talking to your friends, what you getting into the ground, and apparently being told to sit down because you can't stand up at Wembley, and then watching the game. You know, there's nothing better, mate. Nothing better.
I hear it. No, it's a great experience regardless. I hear it. But like, knowing that we lost the game, I'm glad I made my decision.
On penalties.
I'm really glad I made my decision. Yeah, that's heartbreaking twice. I'm good. Deja vu again in May. Yeah, get in the bin. Third time lucky, though. Third time lucky, potentially.
Don't. Let's just I mean, more than likely it's going to be Liverpool, but please, God.
Hey, if we all believe in Poch as much as we should, then let's go for the cup. Let's go for the cup.
Bro, you're so shameless. If you believe in Poch as much as you do.
Hey, well, then why not? Why don't we believe we can go for the cup?
All right, no. I fancy whoever. You know, if it's Fulham, I'm a lot more confident. But I'm not going to write off a final against Liverpool because, you know, first home game.
We played better against the better teams.
Who looked better in that home game at the Bridge? Who looked better at the Bridge in that game?
Oh, we did. We did.
I'll be
Exactly.
real. Like,
So,
we've had too many draws against Liverpool, though. We all do win.
Well, it won't be a draw when we played them in the final.
Might as well call it a drawby, mate. Like a draw derby, mate. Drawby.
Yeah, but like
we all do win, man. For once at least.
We should.
I hope.
If we play better against the better teams, so let's play better. Let's get a result. Give me a little Caicedo scream. Oh, Caicedo winner against Liverpool.
Nah,
I've just thought it. That is an unbelievable.
Give me Lavia winner on my life.
Hey, either or, I don't mind. Or Lavia and a Caicedo assist. There we go. We're both happy. We're both
other way
happy.
around.
Either or. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy it, but let it be one of the ones that they tried to hijack off us. That would be sweet, and Klopp can go crying to his little cap.
Oh,
but yeah,
you know what? Let's dip into the hat of excuses already.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's going to be.
They'll talk about 1 billion spent and everything, and complain about the.
And also, hopefully, this Sunday there won't be disappointment on Christmas Eve as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Can we talk about? Can we actually talk about that for 1 minute? Like how
go for
ridiculous it is. Like obviously, I've not been able to talk about it, but how ridiculous it is. Not only on Christmas Eve, 12:30 on Christmas
1 p.m.
Eve.
kickoff.
Like, I mean, rhetorical question because we already know the answer is no. But do the FA actually care about football fans?
No, this ain't the FA. This is one of the TV companies, I think. But I look at it from two different perspectives. From a football fan, I think this is just terrible. You got to drive up to Wolves for an hour and a half, and it's dead. From a content creator's perspective, it's Christmas Eve. Nearly everyone's at home. We're the only Premier League game. We already kick off. Nice. I'll take it. So it all depends on perspective. Also, people around the world, where it's going to be a nightmare for us. I think for people in Australia or around Asia, it should be the right time for them. It all just depends. Oh,
yeah, perfect. You know, let's prioritize the English Premier League for other countries. Fantastic. Great
That's
idea.
what happens when you sign big multi-million pound TV deals with other countries. You're going to prioritize them. That's what football's become. We've been here, man. That's how the whole Super League nearly came out. Football is a money-orientated business.
Of course
now.
it is. I mean,
it's only but that's why I'm not surprised. We got one Christmas Day fixture. At least it's not anything long like Burnley or any real crap. The only thing I would have said is if you're going to do a Christmas Eve fixture, how about you make it a fixture where people don't have to travel like that? Make it a derby or something. A Christmas Eve derby. That would be nice.
No,
but that's all I'd say.
Big game, like a huge Christmas Eve game. Like, you know, I mean, to be fair, we've got that. I think it's Liverpool Arsenal, isn't it? Yeah, Liverpool Arsenal
on the 23rd.
Yeah, but even then, like that's a huge game, as in like just before Christmas. Like one fan base is gonna be crying on Christmas Day, and I'm all for it because it's either Arsenal fans or Liverpool fans crying. We won't talk about who we want to win that game because we're gonna have an argument.
Hey, we all have our preferences. It's fine, man. It's fine. But yeah, episode 28 of the Blue Balls podcast has been a very, very good discussion. Big up to everybody that's been involved. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you believe in anything that we've been saying, let us know. If you think we've been talking out of our ass, let us know too. And yeah, big up to everybody that's locked in.
And Merry Christmas as well.
Yes.
And yeah. Merry Christmas to everyone. And yeah, big up everybody that's locked in. Like and subscribe. And just keep winning.